Hey, Kaleem, Pramod, Rakesh, Wahid, am I audible, guys? Quick confirmation.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Just a moment, guys. Okay, so guys, let us start this session. So basically, the agenda for today's session is like the webinar that we are hosting. We are going to talk about, the data visualization techniques, and it makes sense also, the data that we are having in the raw form, it is not very much informative like the data we are having in the Excel file or a CSV file and stuff. So how we can, get the insights from that data? I mean, if you look at an Excel file, it is having thousands of rows and, humongous columns over there. So, we cannot get any information over there. So what are the tools and techniques we can use so that, we can get the information or the insights from that raw data? So we are going to talk about that. But even before we proceed, let me quickly introduce myself, guys. So my name is Ashutosh, and it has been nearly 5.5, 6 years as of now that I had been working as a data scientist, and I had provided my services to the clientels like Coca-Cola, Scoot in Singapore Airlines, Air Malaysia, Bank of Malaysia, uh, Volvo Bengaluru, TrueJet in India, Yatra.com, and various other companies through the organizations I had been associated prior. And right now, I'm the chief technology advisor for a few companies. And with Henry Haven, I'm also associated into the advisory board members for data science. Now, along with this, I'd also been a visiting professor for many universities in India, to name a few: IIT Kanpur, PSIT College, Chitkara University, Shulini, RIMS College, Atharva, Mumbai, ITS College, that is into your, Greater Noida, ITS, that is into your Ghaziabad as well. And I had been training the students globally, right from India, US, UK, Malaysia, China, and recently in Africa as well. So this is a quick introduction about me. Now let us start the session. And yes, we are going to make the session quite open. So in between, if you get any doubts, any ambiguity, feel free to ask then and there. Right. So this is going to be an open discussion kind of thing. Okay. So let us start. So as I said, the data that we are having now, the data, the avenues when we are talking about, or the sources. So the data could be into an Excel file or a CSV file into the form of, the rows and columns that we are having. Our data could be coming from, the audio files, the images, the textual data, the videos, or the data that is coming from the database management system. But hey, you know what? Just by looking at this, we are not able to get the insights from the data. Let us say, what is the average sales, or, what is the, who's our, top 10 buyers. No, we cannot do all these kind of things just by looking at the data. So we have to work on a thing, uh, to which, if we are throwing this data, it should give the insights, whatever insights we are asking. So data visualization, friends, is quite important for decision making. Yes, if I'm getting why this is important, because a decision that is being backed by the data, chances are very less. I wouldn't say zero, but yes, chances are very less that you may go you may go wrong. But a decision that is being backed by the guts, a gut based decision, chances are very high that you might go wrong. And businesses doesn't run that way. So that is where the data visualization is quite important for decision making. Why? Because it is helping the people understand the complex data set, yes, like this. And the inferences that we are getting from that, using that, we can take the informed decisions. So what we are doing is we are throwing the raw data, doing a data visualization on that, and we can come up with, some insights like we can recognize the pattern, what is the trend, another quick insights, complex data simplification, which is helping us to take the better decision, like improved business performance, faster response time, informed strategies, risk mitigation, all these kind of things. So that is the importance of data visualization, friends, which we are having into the decision making stuff. Now, the data visualization, what this is doing, this is bridging the gap between the data and the insights, as I previously showcased you by drawing that CSV file. because it is visually representing the data, which is communicating us the hidden information, and it is making the insights obvious. So this becomes quite an integral part of data storytelling, and this could help you a lot when you are trying to make a decision for your business. When we are talking about the complete journey of this transformation of the raw data to the actionable insights, as I said, we are having the raw data layer, a data that could be into an Excel file or CSV file stuff. Then we are using the visualization layer. So various visualization methods are there. Pie chart is there, histogram is there, scatter plot is there, bar plot is there. We are having pair plot is there, a number of 3D scatter chart is there. Now, once that is made, we are able to get the insights. Now, see what is happening. For an example, let us say this is the pie chart, and now let us say this is talking about 70%, maybe 20%, right? Maybe 10%. And we are looking for the country basis. Let us say this is China, this is India, this is US. So, you know what? Now this is making more sense. The client is able to understand through this simple chart that the kind of sales that we are doing globally, which is a market which is giving us much profit, or where we are making the maximum sales. And then we are having the action there. How insights translate into the business decisions. Yes, we are throwing this information to our management or the client. Now it is their forte, that based on this information, what are the strategies they might want to devise so that they can come up with a better decision things for their businesses, right? So this is the journey or the steps that we are having when we are trying to get the information from the existing data. But we also have to follow some principles, because a lot of people, they tend to lie with the data. Yes, that is also happening. People lie with the data. So all these scams that we have in the recent years, whether it is done by Vijay Mallya, whether it is done by Nirav Modi, how these people are able to get so much loans from the bank. They are lying with their data, right? But you know what? We should not encourage this practice. We have to do what? We have to follow some principles. And what are those principles? The choice of the chart or the graph should be based on the data type. Yes. Now let us say you are looking for the region-wise sales or the state-wise sales. Let me make it a state-wise sales in US. Now imagine how many states are there in US. Too many states. And you are coming up with a pie chart. So you can just assume, how clumsy it will be, in this way, this way, this way, very clumsy. It will be too much populated. You won't be able to get the insights from here. So the choice of the chart or the graph should be based on the data type and the message that we are trying to convey. Bar chart is the best for comparisons, yes. The line chart over the period, what is, you people must have seen, when the companies are saying or showing, this information that quarter wise, what is the profit or the loss that we made. So there's a line kind of thing, right? So that is a line chart. It is showing the trend over the time. Pie chart is for proportions. And proper visualization is needed. Why? Because this is ensuring a clear communication and effective changes. Change over time, right? Magnitude. When we are talking about change over time, so visualizing. Rakesh, I would strongly suggest you to not scribble on the screen. Rakesh Mandhare. Yep. Rakesh, are you there? Yeah, kindly avoid scribbling on the screen. So when we are talking about the change over time, so here what is happening, we are able to visualize the change over the time, quarter-wise sales, quarter-wise profit, quarter-wise the loss that we are making. And for this, the line chart is the best. Then we are having the magnitude. If we are talking about the magnitude, the size comparisons. So often we are using the bar plot. Plot is there, the lollipop chart is there because this is highlighting the absolute count, such as populations over the country, so on and so forth. Right. Okay. Someone was saying something. Suraj, Wahid, Rakesh, Pramod, Kaleem, guys. Any doubts? Any questions?
No doubt, sir. Till now, no doubts.
And then we are having, a few other parts, like when we're talking about the parts of a whole, like part to whole chart. So what this is doing, this is showing how components contribute to the total. If you're talking about correlation, for example, let us say there are two variables, the salary and the experience. So obviously, the more your experience, the better your salary will be there, right? So the salary is going to increase. So in that scenario, we use something called as a scatter plot. This is how it will look like. So values on the x-axis are increasing, values on the y-axis are also increasing. But if we are talking about the correlation between, let us say, salary and the number of leaves, so the more your number of leaves will be increasing, your salary will be declining. So this is how your scatter plot will look like, right? And let us say you are trying to find the correlation between the variable name and salary. So name and salary is having no correlation. I mean, salary doesn't depend upon the name unless and until your name is Ambani or Bill Gates or Elon Musk, right? So that is not happening. So in that cases, what will happen? This is how your scatter plot will look like. No correlation. So this correlation thing is being, taken care by something what is a scatter plot. When we are talking about rankings or ranking visualizations like bar chart is there, chart races are there, which are emphasizing on the relative performance or ranking of variables over the time. Distribution, if we are talking about, then pyramids are there, distribution visualizations is a, these are being used for your various distribution visualizations. B swarm is there. So this is these charts are basically showing the data values and the frequency. So these are some of the right charts or the graphs that we're having. So over this training, you will be learning all these kind of things. In the same way for flows and relationship, we are having Sankey network charts. Spatial data, we are having, the path is there, map is there, geographical patterns are there, maps are there. All these kind of things are there. When we are talking about deviation charts, like diverging stacked bars are there, surplus deficit field lines are there. So these are showing the variations from the baseline or the reference point. So this is there. Now, when we're talking about complexity, see, the data will always be complex in nature, guys. And we have to, decomplex it somehow. Now, there are various ways of doing that. Like once you load the data, in Power BI, there is a query tool, where we can, work on this kind of things. But what is the end result we are getting? We have to simplify the data complexity into the data visualization. How? By focusing on the key insights. Now, it will be giving us a lot of information, but we the client will be having specific set of questions. We might want to just showcase a specific set of the insights. So we cannot make our Power BI report or Tableau dashboard too much complex, right? So it should be simple to the point. So for that, obviously, what is suggested is we have to obviously choose the right chart types and we have to minimize the unnecessary details. Then we also have to limit the number of variables, use clear labels, maintain a clean layout. So when we are talking about limiting the number of variables, so this is where we are trying to get rid of the nominal data, data which is not required for us. How do we do that? Using the query, Power Query tool into the Power BI. And we can also make it interactive. How to do that, we'll be seeing that. But yes, we can also make the dashboard interactive. Like if you click on the drop down button, the whole visualization changes and stuff. And we can use a consistent, color palette also, which is helping the viewers to engage with the feeling without feeling overwhelmed, right? So when we're talking about the using of color and design, so enhancing the data visualization is always suggested with using the various color palettes and the designs, the templates which are there. So color and design are very powerful tools for enhancing the visualization. Why? Because obviously, they are improving the clarity. They are highlighting the key insights. So this is making our visualizations more engaging, right? So if you look at this, right, the concept of color theory that we are having in the data visualization, this is a complementary, this is an analog one, this is a triadic one, right? So these are the various concepts of color that we are having in the data visualization. Excuse me. Talking about the common visualization tools and technologies that we are having BI tools, business intelligence. You people must have heard about a tool that is called as a Power BI. This is by Microsoft, right? Power BI. BI over here stands for business intelligence because this tool is having some intelligence of its own. Programming libraries, yes, Python and all these things, and web-based tools also. So these are, some of the popular tools that we are having. And yes, as I said, Tableau, Power BI, Looker. But nowadays Power BI and Tableau both are going neck to neck. If you ask me which one is the best, well, both are very good. But in Power BI, the DAX functionality that we are having, that is amazingly well. Superb. Right. So, but again, Tableau is also something that we cannot ignore. So both of the tools are very good. Looker, again, that is a nice one. So these are some of the BI tools that we have in Python libraries when we are talking about programming languages. So we will be working on Python and R, specifically not JavaScript, because for the people like you who are, coming, maybe you guys may be coming from a non-programming background, Java is going to be a bit tough. So we'll be talking about Python and R, and it is very easy, guys. Like the way we are interacting in English, in the same way you can, work on Python and R. Why? Because, here you do not need to do the coding. The code is pre-written for us in the form of libraries in Python, in the form of packages in R. And when we are talking about, various libraries in Python, which is being used for data visualization or graphical representation, we are having Matplotlib. We are having Seaborn, which is for the advanced graphical visualization. We are having, Plotlib for the interactive plots. In R, the packages we are having for the graphical representation, that is your ggplot, plotly, and digraphs. Web-based tool, when we are talking about, we are having Google Services Integration, free platform is the, Google Data Studio. This is basically a service by Google, as the name is suggesting. And this is having collaborative features. We are also having Flourish, where we are having d3.js, chart.js, Google Charts, all these things are there. But these are the web-based tools that we are having. Criteria again for, choosing the right tool. So you should see like, which of these tools is providing the ease of use. It should be intuitive, straightforward interface should be there. You should be easily able to customize it. It should be able to handle, data from the various avenues, because every time you won't be working on the data that is coming from a CSV file or an Excel file. Then so you should see which of these tools is providing you a good connectivity. Like Tableau, Power BI, they are helping you to connect with, various around 140 sources of data, whether it is SQL or Google Cloud is there, or Google Analytics is there, or Azure is there. So these are the things that you have to see. Integration, again, it should easily integrate. The data is coming from the various sources, so integration is important. Data security is also important. Cost, again, Tableau and Power BI are quite costly tools, right? So we have to keep that factor also into the picture. Versatility, it should be adaptable to the different visualization needs. And again, it depends upon the target audience as well, right? So it should be suitable for the users like business stakeholders or external audience. So these are some of the criteria that you have to look into. So we have already discussed about the line graph. So this is how it looks like. So you can see, over the period, it is talking about, the things that are going on. Area chart, this is quite similar, but, it is somewhat shaded below. Then we are having histogram, which is talking about the frequency distribution of the data set. Box plot is there, which is talking about the various quartiles, highlighting the median, what is the range, and any other potential outlier. Outlier is basically the extreme value into the data. Right? So these are a few things. A scatter plot, I already made you understand. Heat map, again, this is also being used to represent the values in the matrix. And this is useful when you want to visualize the relationship, correlations kind of thing, right? How will you do that? It depends upon the intensity of the color. The darker the color means it is having, a very high correlation. The faded, the shade of the colors means we are having a very less correlation kind of thing. Pie chart, we already discussed and stuff. Now, when we are talking about some of the pitfalls, or the misleading visualizations, we should not prepare. Like when we are talking about the truncated y-axis, so this is manipulating the y-axis scale to exaggerate or minimize the differences. We are having the exaggerated y-axis, cherry picking data, poor chart choices are there, misleading color choices, lack of context, overloading information, too much information. No, all these things are not required. Misleading labels and titles, yes. Whatever you have done, you should put a proper title on that, a proper label on that. So this is going to remove the biasness from the information. So these are, few things that are there when it comes to overloading the data or the visualization. Now, when we are talking about the unnecessary details, like this is what going to do. This is going to, clutter our data visualization, too much populated. So as the target audience will be seeing that, they will be getting confused very badly. So what we have to do, we have to focus only on the key insights. How do we do that? By limiting the extra elements like excessive labels or the grid lines and the colors. And the design should be quite simple. It should be interactive for deeper exploration kind of thing. So, all these things are there. Then again, lack of audience focus is also there. Audience is asking something, you are, miscommunicating something else. So lack of audience focus in data visualization, this could lead to the miscommunication and confusion. So this is, suggested that based on the requirement, we have to tailor the design, the report, the dashboard, based on the customers or the audience's need. So that our message, what we are trying to show, or the insights that we are trying to share, that should be very clear and relevant. So we also have to consider the other factors such as how much familiar the audience is with the data, their level of expertise, and the specific insights that they need to drive the decisions. So these are some of the things that we have to keep in mind. Another, the advanced feature that we are talking about, all these are the very dynamic tools. Power BI, Quick Click is there, Tableau is there, right? So we use a lot of things. Advanced features like filters and slices are there, right? So for example, let us say you are seeing the region-wise sales. So on a whole, a dashboard is created. If you put a filter, and in there are various regions. So you can just click on that region, and only for that region, all the dashboard changes. Slices are there, like, in this year or in that year, or between this year, that year kind of thing, you can do a drag and drop. So drill down capabilities, I already talked about. Data storytelling, what this is doing, this is creating the narrative. Storytelling, the name speaks a volume. So this will create a narrative that is guiding the users through the data, highlighting the key insights in the trend. So we'll be teaching you how to do that data storytelling as well. Now, data animation is also quite useful because this is bringing animation. It is always appealing to the eyes, right? Even though we are adults, and if you watch an animated movie, we thoroughly enjoy that. So if we put a the animation kind of thing, so this is going to bring the visualizations to the life or the data to the life. So this is quite a helpful technique when we want to identify the patterns, trend anomalies, which might be missing in the statistic visualization. And some of the common animation techniques we're having is line chart, bar chart, maps are there, scatter plot is there, all these things are there. Real-time visualization, yes. Now let us say the data is coming live from Google Analytics kind of thing. So how do we do that? So, we have to make a real-time visualization. If the data is changing over there, the visualization should also change. One example I can give you is we are watching live cricket matches, and we see, over by over, some charts are being shown. How is that possible? Are the people, continuously creating? No, that is not possible. They had created a visualization in such a way that, as soon as data is changing, the visualization is also changing. So this is helping the user to monitor and analyze the data as it is getting generated. In the domains like stock market analysis, social media monitoring, IoT data, or the cricket matches or the data that is coming from the satellite. But there are some challenges also, like data streaming is there, latency is there, scalability is there. So few of the challenges are also there. Now here you see we are having some of the use cases. Now here the visualization that you see, this is talking about the New York Times COVID tracker. So this visualization that you see over here, this is using a combination of various line charts, see over here. And along with this, the bar charts are also being used in order to track the spread of the COVID across the different states and countries. And this is helping user to understand the trend and make informed decision about health and safety. Now, this is Gapminder's World Health Chart. So you can see the bubbles, income, map, ages, all these kind of things. So this is an interactive dashboard that we are having over here, which is showcasing the global development over the time, linking to the health, wealth, education. So its dynamic nature is allowing the user to explore how countries have evolved. And yes, obviously, not to forget, this is making the complex global data accessible and engaging as well. So this is NASA's, Mars rover landing animation. See over here, animation chart. So this animation is visualizing the landing process. See over here, how it is landing. The NASA's Perseverance rover on the Mars. So blending storytelling with real-time data is helping the viewer understand the complexity and success of this mission. Right? Now, when we are talking about, what is the difference between the good and the bad visualization? So here, when we are talking about the pointers, so clarity and simplicity, a bad visualization will be overloaded with the data, unclear legends, unnecessary elements. Good visualization will be focusing on the key insights with a simple design, clear label, chart type. In bad visualization, we'll be having a misuse of charts, right? For example, in a pie chart for the time-based data, no, not that is not the thing, right? In good visualization, we are having the correct chart types, scaling and labeling. So in bad visualization, there will be some distorted axes, misleading scales, unclear or missing labels. Good visualization will be having proper scaling, accurate axes, clear bubbles, clear labels, and this is providing a true data representation, right? Color usage, data representation. So there are various other things. So from here, I will ask my friend to take over. Guys, just give me one moment. Okay, so guys, we are open for the discussion now. Kaushal, Rakesh, Suraj, Waid, any questions, please ask. Yep. Wahid, Kaushal, Rakesh, Suraj, any questions, please ask.
No doubt.
Okay. Others, Rakesh, Suraj, Wahid, any doubts, any questions?
Yeah, no doubts.
Okay. Okay. So guys, your demo coordinator will be contacting you guys soon. I guess he's involved in another meetings. So if you are having no doubts, then we can just wrap up this session for today. And if you have any doubts, you can ask. If not, then thank you so much for joining us and being a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Mm.